Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back. Today we have a best of 3 between two very special players. In the top left, spawning as our blue Protoss playing for Team Liquid. It is Mana. He's been in Liquid for a darn long time. I think he's gonna stay a little bit longer still. In the bottom right, a man who is currently teamless. It is Gumiho. Playing versus Mana here. And the moment I saw that these two guys played each other, I realized I had to watch this. Because both players are a little bit different, I would say. Mana is a player that doesn't necessarily abide by the rules of StarCraft 2. And Gumiho definitely doesn't abide by the rules of StarCraft 2. Both of them have their own kind of style in this game, and that style apparently is scouting this proxy barracks. First moment possible here. I do believe this SCV is going to end up dying. A new SCV is being sent out, as we can see here on the mini-map. No, just going over here to build that next barracks already. So Gumiho is giving up this project practically immediately. And this is a great start for Mana. This is as good a start as you can wish against a proxy Rex. You find it and, well, you're not gonna... Oh, the eBay block doesn't even happen here, which of course was the next part of this plan here for Gumiho. That's also going to be denied. So yeah, Gumiho losing a lot of minerals initially with an SCV. Is also going to lose a lot of minerals here because he's forced to cancel this barracks, and that's actually a significant loss. We see the command center start here before the orbital command. So I think in total this is maybe like a 160, 170, 180 mineral loss or so here for Gumiho with such a fast scout and having to cancel that barracks. And on top of that, a delay on his first barracks here for, what is it? 23 seconds, no, sorry, 30 seconds or so. Oh my god, 2 SCVs being taken out. The perfect probe harass as well coming out of Mana here. Keeping both of them alive, but take a look at this bad boy. The probe that could. 2 kills on this one. He's in the red. Both of these are going to get recalled here. I can only assume they're going to get recalled. No, going for an attack maybe on this Marine. No, yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Can you repeat the question? It's actually going to end up losing both. A little bit sloppy here. Mana getting way too much damage done with these probes, but then ends up losing 2 himself as well. Follows it up with a Stargate as we see a reactor coming out here straight away out of Gumiho after that factory. So I think this is going to be... This should be a tech lab here, honestly. No, it's going to be a car. Wow. Okay. So despite the very poor start, Gumiho still pretending like he is favored in this case. And is going to go for a very safe scout with this car. Follows it up with a starport as well. And has to delay his marine production. This is just painful to watch, to be quite frank. There's absolutely nothing that he can do aggressively. Mine drop's going to be hitting late. Any type of factory starport attack with Viking Cyclone, Viking Tank, it's just going to fall flat as well due to this marine count being so low. I mean, no marines have been built during this period. Mana is holding off this the launch of the natural here, or the landing of the natural, which is 2 stalkers. Cyclone is now starting. It's another 20 seconds or so away. So more denied timing here in which SCVs aren't being constructed. A little bit of damage on this building as well, which of course is frustrating, but at the end of the world, 1 marine most likely is going to fall. Yeah, Gumiho is not even going to wait for that Cyclone. He says, no, I actually really want to fight right now, and I kind of understand that. We have another Stalker coming up, and we have a Phoenix here as well. Mana does not want to show that Phoenix yet, because I think he wants to save that until a big unit comes out here. And that big unit is here now. So now comes the Phoenix jumping into action. Will lift that Cyclone and starts focusing the Cyclone rather than the other units. I think that might have actually been a mistake. No, that definitely was a mistake here. Cyclone is still going to end up dying, but so might perhaps one of these Phoenixes. Yes, these last few trades have not been good for Mana. Loses 2 Stalkers, barely manages to snatch the Cyclone, but also loses a Phoenix himself. And I think this does give Gumiho a little bit of breathing room in this game. He's still down 10 workers. He's down in infrastructure as well. We already have a Twilight Council coming up. Well, we don't even have Barracks 2 and 3 started yet here for Gumiho. Third Nexus coming down as well. So Eco-wise, tech-wise, mana is looking fantastic. But when it comes to the real assets here going into a mid-game, I rather would have had another Phoenix. And maybe a couple of extra Stalkers as well, of course. Just adding that safety, knowing that you can die against any type of push, allows you to move into a greedier mid-game as well, right? More Chronos, perhaps on probes. A little bit more liberal with the infrastructure as well. So quicker adding those gateways rather than feeling forced to warp in more units. Although, having said that, Mana is feeling pretty darn liberal here as well. Already adding 2 more gateways. Is scouting with his Phoenixes. Sees these barracks going down. Will not have a lift on this Cyclone. But Phoenix, nah, this is not going to be a kill. 100% not a kill. Poor estimation there out of Gumiho, completely misreading that, wasting a scan, just damaging a Phoenix a little bit further. But that definitely was a pretty significant mistake here. This lift might have also been a mistake, but no, Hellion is going to get taken out as the double Raven push out comes in here. There's only a single Zealot, and maybe Mana has been a little bit too greedy. Maybe Mana has pushed it a little bit too far. Yes, he was quite far ahead, and it almost felt like it was impossible to die here, but this is a push with potential. There's going to be 4 auto turrets, 1 tank, significant marine count. That's Phoenix number 1 that goes down. Phoenix number 2 will not die due to that super battery. Charge is about to finish up, and the Zealot count is growing right now to a total of 6. If this 3rd base goes down, that would be big enough already. I think that would be enough actually for Gumiho to go into a more solid mid game. There is a 3rd CC coming down for Gumiho himself right now. Mana not actually going for his army, he's going to let his base die. Instead opts for a counterattack while being massively supply blocked here. 74 out of 54, and I think Mana is all of a sudden in a losing position, which should be practically impossible after the early game that he's had. I mean, he cancelled a freaking barracks in the early game, held off his opponent's natural till like 320, 330. These are big feats of strength and big damage being inflicted here on the opponent. Yet Mana struggling here to even get in an even game at this point. I definitely do believe he's behind. Yes, a lot of these Marines are kind of stranded in this top right side of Dragon skills, but a full wall is being constructed. Mana is, and he's eyeing something here. He's like, hey, can I go in? Can I body check you? And I think the answer is going to be a temporary no. Mana definitely does want to take this out. Stim still far away, Combat Shield far away, Liberators being added in just for defensive purpose, and I do appreciate that. Of course, having 2 medevacs here would have been fantastic as well, trying to evacuate these Marines out, because this really is a lot of supply, and Mana eventually is just going to crush it. Let's face it, he's going to crush that army. The infrastructure for Gumiho has not been great. Despite him taking out the 3rd base, you could arguably still say actually that maybe Mana is ahead. Eco-wise, it doesn't seem to be the case, but he has a big army, and this is a massive liability here for Gumiho, which I don't really ever see this paying off. Like, how is he gonna make this army do anything? If Mana just stops it, Mana's gonna go into the main base. So rather than attacking that army, he says, hey, I'll just ignore it and see what you have at home. I don't care what you have at home, but it's minus 16, 17 Marines, minus a tank, and minus a Cyclone. So good luck, my dear friend, and here we go. Stim has finished. Combat Shield not quite, but is about to. +1 is done. Phoenix is lifting all of these mines. One does get to burrow as Zealots enter the main base right now. But here comes Gumiho. He says, hey, wait a second. That means this army can now jump into action. What do you have at home? The answer is absolutely nothing. As Mana starts taking out SCVs, starts fighting these Marines and Marauders, and the Phoenix is jumping in as well. Here comes the Marine Force on the other side of the map. Do we have a defensive warp in? No, we don't really. This 3rd base is in trouble here for Gumiho, so perhaps the Mana's plan is going to be an eventual recall here with Archons, with a couple of Zealots. That still isn't going to be super easy. Armor level 2 is most likely not going to finish up here. It's more Zealots and Stalkers are being warped in. We have a full-on base raid here in this absolute slugfest of a game in game number 1. Phoenixes will camp the production. If armor doesn't finish up, that's kind of a big deal. I'd love to see some focus fire on this pylon. This is a massive Artosis pylon, and it is going to fall. So no +2. No more production out of these gateways. We do have a new Phoenix. Mana, don't want to lose it. Is instead just going to send it over to this Liberator, or perhaps is still going to lose it in the end anyway. And now we're ending up in a situation in which I'm not entirely sure who's winning. base trade-wise, I think mana kills things fast. Oh, goes for the... Oh, that's a beautiful recall. Right into 5-6 Marines, but I don't think that's enough Marines. Half of the Marines are split off. Stims have been used. This Liberator is going to get taken out, and one more Stim is going to absolutely kill those Marines. I think mana, despite a massive error at the start of the mid-game here, losing that third base, is still going to end up holding on. Probes are now being pulled. Stim is not even available anymore due to these Marines being so darn damaged. Cyclone is going to micro back, but GG gets called and mana wins an unlikely game number 1 here on Dragon Skills. What an insane game number 1 that was. Honest to God. This is exactly what I wanted when I saw Gumiho versus Mana. It's not just the... Okay, there's a difference between these two players, I think, in which I think Gumiho is a standard player with weird build orders. And I feel like Mana is the opposite almost. He is a weird player with standard build orders. As in, he often opens pretty normal, but then his decision making is what kind of differentiates him. He's often very bold in his decisions and very decisive. I think he's one of the most decisive players that I've ever seen in StarCraft 2. He always seems to kind of have a plan how to maneuver himself out of bad situations, or sometimes maneuver himself into bad situations, of course, depending on the outcome. But yeah, ooh, look at this. And as I said, he plays a very uncommon build order. This is a build that I saw Classic play as of late as well. I want to say that it was in a series against Cure. Yeah, it was in a series against Cure. Fantastic build order. I really did appreciate that one. So, what does this build order achieve, you might ask? Well, that's a great question, guys. I'm glad someone asked. So, specifically against a lot of Korean Terrans who have been very fond of no scouting as of late, this build order allows a lot of pressure on the natural command center. So you can scout with it, and at the same time, you can block your opponent's CC and then send 2 adepts across the map, deal a lot of damage with that, right? Just a lot of pressure. You still get a nexus with it eventually, but it's just a little bit delayed for you. But at the same time, you're delaying your opponent's CC, so it's an aggressive game in which you have some momentum on your side, which I think most of the time is a good thing. Now, this Zealot is going to get pushed back here by this Reaper, might even get killed, and this bunker, is it gonna end up finishing up here? I think Mana should have probably turned around and gone for the bunker rather than just running away and giving up his life. Now, he's trying to play around the ramp, and he's going to keep this Zealot alive, but it's just barely hanging on, really just by a thread. This SCV is also not going to end up finishing this bunker, will be, well, killed. May it rest in peace. Probe still alive in the opponent's main base, as we have triple depots going down right now and double adepts moving across the map. There's not a single unit in sight, as a tech lab is being created here for a potential Cyclone or a tank, but I think Cyclone makes the most sense. We sometimes do see Stargate after this, and having that Cyclone ready to go is always nice, of course. Now, these 2 adepts are going to stay at home, or at least try and deny some scouting from his opponent, as the Reapers will go ahead and jump onto this high ground, but then the next 2 adepts are popping in here and say hello, and uh-oh, I think Gumiho could potentially be losing every single adept here. Yep, there we go. Every adept, every Reaper. 2 Reapers do go down. Cyclone will finish up, but there's 4 units out already. Stargate is about to finish up. And the problem with having this many gateway units against such a low Terran unit count is that even if there is a Cyclone, which technically individually beats every single unit, there are so many units that you can't kill them all. It takes too long. So landing your natural, yes, eventually you will clean up the attack, but you might lose 4 or 5 SCVs, and that could be enough. That absolutely could be enough here. Mana is already going into Phoenixes as well, which helps disabling those Cyclones. Follow-up is going to be a... Ooh. Is this Banshee? It's a Raven, okay. That is, I guess, respectable in a way, but at the same time, I'm not a huge fan. So risky, because if you are playing against Phoenix here, then, I mean, you have 0 Marines out. Good luck defending that Raven and defending anything else as well. Like, you're pretty much putting all your eggs in one basket, it feels like. Like, this is a huge army. Mana, once again, in a pretty good position, I would say. Like, worker-wise, it doesn't look stunning. You know, it's not over, but if you just take a look at the actual situation in the game, at the army supply, but also just what the army consists of, I think there's some real potential here. We have this sentry. Now, this could be used for a guardian shield, but I'd almost prefer if it was used for hallucinations to break this mine. I would almost prefer that. I think that would be better. Could also, of course, use that here with the adept. Yeah, adept is gonna go in. That's too early. That's way too early. This is in... No, not in time. Okay, adept's just gonna get shot. Turret is being thrown down here. This is a very important turret, as adept actually finished their shade in the main base. What a huge blunder here. Out of mana. Now he's moving forward. Will pick up this cyclone, and he's still going to deal quite a bit of damage with losing those 3 adepts for free. That is a blunder. That is a massive, massive blunder here. Out of mana. Who is already getting a Twilight Councils. Adding extra gateways right now seems to be sticking on a 2 base count with, well, low probe count as well. 30, 40-ish workers or so. Oversaturation in the main for now. And I think the plan here is to trick Gumiho into an attack from which he can't retreat. And that is really the only thing that makes any type of sense. And I think Gumiho might actually be tempted. Look at this. He is definitely setting up for it. We have these double depots with the drops on it. That's kind of expensive. That is what, minus 125 minerals every single time for no real reason. And here comes the first medevac. Stim finishing up. Not going to be any combat shield here. A gateway count only at 2, but once these 3 extra finish, we're going to see more and more zealots being added in. Phoenixes are going to spot this medevac. Will Mana see it? Yes, he will. Is going to start fighting it, perhaps try and kill it. Will not quite get there, but can pick off some of these reinforcements. And that means that this push is now isolated. And we might be looking at a very similar scenario to last game, in which the 3rd base can't necessarily be held. But once charge finishes up here, I think that Mana has a good chance of isolating this army once again away from the main base. This time, though, Gumiho says, no, I'm not going to go for your 3rd base. I'll just go straight for your natural. I don't understand why probes are being pulled. That seems like a giant error. There were plenty of zealots here. Now a lot of mining time is being lost. 10 probes do end up going down. This should have been way, way better for Mana, and it ends up being, honestly, fairly mediocre. Forced into dealing damage on the counter-attack, but can he? I think no. I don't think he can. Combat shield is almost done. Bunker's on the way. Depot wall has finished up, and I think Gumiho's winning. I absolutely believe that Gumiho is winning. However, this wall's being broken. Uh-oh. Marine count very low. Oh, no, not again. Mine will get lifted. There's one more lift available. Is there? No. Turret takes it out. 10, 11, 12, 13 workers. 15 workers go down. Oi, 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 oi. Gumiho, I thought he had health, but couldn't be further from the truth. If these Phoenixes would have been microed a bit better, this would have been even worse. But still, it doesn't look that brilliant here for our Korean Terran player. Still on 2 bases, rebuilding workers like his life depends on it, because it really does. Does send out a drop here. This is 5 Marines with Stim, with combat, and a single mine in this medevac as well. And this single medevac will need to do something special. It will need to get across the map and just start dealing damage. Ideally stay alive as well, because what, a 2nd Stargate? Now we're talking. This is not a build. Oh my god. Mana, what are we playing here? I love it. Just massing out Phoenixes at this point, saying, hey, I see you're only building Marines. Guess what, buddy? Phoenixes are great. It's like, what? Alright, I guess if you say so. Double forges? Well, Mana is living in heaven over here. It's like plenty of money around, plenty of resources. Life is good. We'll clean up this frontal push, but at the same time, the drop in the main base is the one that's dealing the real damage. 10 workers have gone down. Not an insignificant part was dealt by this mine, which will now be killed, sadly, for that mine and its mine family. I don't think widow mines actually have family. They're called widow mines already. Surely don't actually have a family. I guess they're called widow mines because they make widows, not because they are widows. Actually, no. Are widow mine? I think it's just a robot, no? Not like a female mine squad of people that lost their husband in the marine suit, then turned into landmines. It seems fairly unlikely now that I think about it. Yeah, 95 supply against 84 here, as marine count is extremely high. We have that Phoenix production. just out of a single Stargate for now. And here comes a drop into the main base with the armory done. This is going to be gnarly. Cannon is being added in as well, but the moment these mines land, you're never going to kill them again. They're going to shoot at least twice, and that means you're going to lose a lot of workers here. Zealots were moving out accidentally. I'm not quite sure why, but it is what they were doing. As Mana now in a world of trouble. It's not going to be capable of warping anymore. I actually think this is game. This is absolutely game. Cannon will get taken out here at the third pro pool once again. That went terrible the first time. It's going to go terrible this time as well. Might eventually clean it up, but the main will never get cleaned up. Sentry dies. Zealots get gunned down as well. Gumiho takes game number 2 and ties up this best of 3. Entertaining series so far. Let's see what game 3 brings here on Ancient Cistern. Mana's a little bit paranoid. It's like scouting till the end of the world. Till he falls off the map. It's not going to be the case. Although this map is indeed flat. At least that's what I'm aware of. Don't think he can actually fall off the edge though. Yeah, maybe it's possible. Usually you just get blocked by something, some invisible blockers. But that's a discussion for another time. It's going to go across the map and see a lack of a barracks. And he might overreact. As he plays the 2-gate once more, actually. 2-gate double gas. No, single gas. We'll start a Zealot. Which I think is the incorrect call, given the situation. If he knew that the barracks was this close to the main base, I don't think he would open up with a Zealot here. I think this is my real opinion. I even think that if he sees this Reaper jump into the main and try to kill the probe, I think Mana will actually try and cancel the Zealot, although he's not going to be in time. Zealot just finished up. My life for hire. And 2 adepts have just started, one being chronoed as well, which also, not entirely sure if that's the correct play. So now Mana is aware that this barracks went back home. He's going to be pretty upset about all of this. Start a battery. This is, I think, the worst case scenario that Mana could be playing with. Absolutely the worst case scenario. He built a Zealot, has a very delayed Nexus, does not have any major tech coming in, and is now starting Stalkers to try and get across the map. But I'm just not seeing this happen, to be honest. I am just not seeing this happen. Zealot will start fighting this Reaper. Bang, bang. Double slash, double slash. Reaper took a little bit of damage. We're, what, 45 seconds away, perhaps, here from... No, wait, this is a reactor? I was going to say from a Cyclone, but it's not going to be a Cyclone. What? This has to be a misclick. What is he doing? No, this is supposed to be a tech lab. I think this is a mistake. I 100% believe this to be a mistake. No, he's double mining? Double mines here? This is awful. Reaper grenade shoves this adept over the wall. You can't be serious. This is a complete disaster here for Gumiho. Loses the Reaper. Is going to most likely lose one more Marine. Yep, there we go. Adept going absolutely ham. This is a big deal here. As the Zealot is still alive. I don't understand why the Zealot isn't slashing this away. Okay, mine finishes up. Is going to make an end to this. At least temporarily. Follow-up is going to be a blink all-in off of one base. Mana is not done yet. And Gumiho has absolutely no idea because he lost the Reaper. Zealot does know. What was that? Did you just lose a Stalker? A probe. He sent a probe across the map. Was that a probe? Or was that the Adept trying to go in? Oh my god! He does it! He did it! Look at this madman. Adept stays alive. It's gonna get a kill here on one of these mines. That was fantastic moves. Absolutely fantastic moves. Now, Gumiho, once this gets across the map, this SCV plus mine combination, once they get across the map, is going to be capable of perhaps dealing some damage to the main base. We have an armory on the way as well. There's no detection at all. Let's not forget about that. We now have a pylon here being warped in for quicker reinforcements. As once again, Mana is trying to activate these mines with his adept, but he's not quite making it work. There's just not going to be any units defensively here for Gumiho. This is going to be like a weird base trade type of scenario in which the mines should technically survive forever. Here comes this bad boy. Could even be unburrowed. Won't be unburrowed, as a robo will need to be constructed immediately. I think if you're Mana here, you're just staying on one base, honestly. You cancel this Nexus. You're never winning a macro game anymore, brother. That dream is dead. Let's face it, the dream has died a while ago. We have these mines being spread all around, so if he blinks past the first mine, then life might still be okay. Okay, there we go. And now wants to... Oh, there go 2 mines. And these 2 depots also going to end up falling. Mine in the main base, about to recharge. And poof, 5-10. So we'll see you back in 25. We have a new blink available, most likely. Yeah, blinks away. Marines are dying here. I think Mana has maybe actually done it. I am not so sure, actually. I have no clue. Why is he targeting down the tech lab? What is this? The tech lab doesn't stop the tank from producing. Does he? There's no way he believes that. He must know. Here we go. Oh my god, 2 more mines have shown up. As now this mine is going to be ready again in about 1, 2, 3. Boom. There we go. Not quite ready yet. Factory now being targeted down. SCV still largely alive. Uh-oh, are you going to blink in? Are you going to tank these mine hits? The answer is, oh my god, this is some beautiful juggling. Insane tank juggling here. With the 2 medevacs, double medevac, 1 tank. Oi, 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 oi. Now that is a video that I wouldn't mind watching. Two vacs, 1 tank. God, this is beautiful. Viking here not being picked up. 17 SCVs going down, but don't forget on the other side of the map, mines are stuck here. Whoop! No blink away. Yes, blink away, but in mines. Oh no. Every stalker does end up dying in Mana. Loses the game. Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's in a really, really bad spot. We have another 4 mine drop here moving out. If all of these mines kill 1 worker apiece, that would still be fabulous here for Gumiho. He'd be taking out what percentage? Like what 33% of his opponent's mining, basically. That is a significant number. That really is. That's yeah. There's just not enough aggressively. Oh, Hellbat. Right. Hellbat can actually be constructed. Double Marines being produced as well. As 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Stalkers coming in. New Observer also gets built. Very interesting. Should definitely cancel these probes to build 1 Stalker at home. Sends these probes back home. I mean, he's just not going to be mining otherwise, is he? Absolutely not. Should have canceled the probes, but did not. Here we go. It's 1 tank. 1 tank only. Does Mana have what it takes? No, he definitely doesn't. He does not have what it takes. Oh, he recalled back home. Oh. No, that's nasty. That's nasty. That's not good, my friend. 3 workers do end up going down as these mines are looking for some damage. No! Oh. Yes, never mind. I thought these guys were going to walk into the mine, but Mana, of course, was paying attention. Not blink down, shoot it. Definitely can do that, no? Yeah, this is disaster. This is absolute disaster. Second command center already done for Gumiho. His infrastructure is balls, but Mana has nothing. He's down in workers. He's going to be massively down in income. The moment the double mules start going. Raven on the way. Double tanks for safety. Let's be realistic here. This is absolutely over. Mana, of course I understand Mana staying in because he isn't aware of that. He still believes he has a chance. He's chrono boosting workers like his life depends on it. He says, hey, maybe you're going to be the one that saves me. So after all, this is Ancient Cistern, and anything is possible on this map, but I think this really is pushing it a bit too far. Double Ravens, as double medevacs are already out. This was some fantastic juggling. Some absolutely fantastic juggling with the 2 medevacs and that 1 tank in there. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, 2 Hellbats are out. This is a wizard army as well. It's a ragtag group of idiots over here. They got half a Hellbat, a Raven, 2 tanks, 2 medevacs, a bunch of Marines without stim, no combat shield. 3rd Raven on the way, another tank as well coming in. Here comes the blink forward. Tank will die, but so will 1 or 2 of these Stalkers. There's still so many Marines out. Hellbat still alive, and the 2nd tank out of... the 2nd tank just moves down now. Still a 3rd on the high ground on top of that, so... Yeah, Mana's going to be here for a while. Rocks are going to be taken out. Can jump into the main base. Can jump into the natural. No way to really deal damage. The only thing that worries me a little bit is the lack of barracks here for Gumiho. But at the same time, I mean... Meh. Doesn't really matter either, does it? Like, he's going to get stim. He's going to get his combat shield. He's now getting his eBay already as well. Double Ravens moving across the map, so that's some big Raven harass here coming in. Mana still on top of it. He's going to try and sacrifice this Zealot. Send in the Zealot and go for it. He says, okay, this is it. Don't forget, 11 Stalkers one-shot a tank. Currently, there's only 9 Stalkers. That means that one-shotting tanks is simply impossible. Unless you maybe with +3 you could do it with 9 Stalkers. Probably could. Here come the Ravens, and the Ravens will say GG for a 3rd time, it feels like. There's 4 tanks total. This is such a ridiculous number of tanks. Main base is not completely secure, actually. Uh-oh. Here we go. 1 Marine goes down. Stim perhaps in trouble. Tank moves forward. Is going to fall. No, the juggling here once again. Absolutely perfect. Oh, did you steal his own Stalker? He shot his own Stalker there. I saw that. I saw that, Mana. Not escaping me. Try it for crimes against Protoss. That is not allowed. Double Ravens once again turning around. They've been going back and forth. It's like a ferry over here. Rather than bringing good news and people, they bring auto turrets in your main base. That's not good news at all. How many observers have we had this game already? Oh, 2 have died. It's not that many. I thought it was going to be like 5, but definitely not the case. This probe is it's going to proxy a Nexus. This feels like a... Yeah, I like it. I like it. When behind proxy and Nexus and pray to the Lord that it doesn't get spotted for the next 5 years. Whoop, that's 1 medevac. Whoop, that was almost 2 medevacs, and now Marines are falling. Stim not done yet. It's still 9 seconds away by the time that... Woo, that's some fancy micro mana. What are we doing here? Oh my god. Ooh. Oi, 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 oi. This guy's getting kicked out of the McDonald's because he's too fancy. That was beautiful control. I still don't think it's going to be enough, but I'm almost starting to believe again. Poof. Raven gets taken out as well. There's a mana. I'm telling you, this guy. Maneuvering mana over here is getting himself into almost a playable... I still don't think it's playable. I absolutely don't believe this is playable, but... He's almost making me believe again. Yeah, this is probably the worst thing that could happen. You're slowly but surely starting to believe again. But then I see this move out and I'm like, never mind. There's 4 tanks, 2 Hellbats, buff. Can't even one-shot the Hellbats. God, Hellbats are strong. A couple of Marines will fall. Good blink away. Goes for the base trade here. And has a proxy Nexus already. No shot. Mana, you genius. There's only 1 tank. There's only 1 tank. And it's not sieged. No combat shield on these Marines yet. Let's go. We've got ourselves a base trade scenario. Can we get a stim on these bad boys at least? Or is it not possible? His control is fabulous, isn't it? Look at that. Bam. It's the hand of God. Poof. 24 workers have gone down on the side of Mana, though. Blinks forward. This is... his control is actually insane. Very, very good control. This entire game is just... It just hasn't been enough. It just has not been enough. 55 armor supply against 27. More and more Marines streaming out of the 5 barracks. Another tank about to pop out, as well as 2 medevacs. The mules still mining better than they ever did. GG, well played, gets called. Gumiho wins the series. What a banger of a series. Holy crap. Now, I know this wasn't like the... Well, this was a pretty high-level series, but this wasn't like the... This didn't have like series of the year vibes, but these are some darn entertaining games. Really, really good StarCraft. Fun to watch. Completely different from anything we usually see as well. This was an insanely good series. I'm very happy that I watched this. I think I should be doing more Mana games again. Mana is a really fun style to watch. It's just so entertaining. Can really squeeze water out of stone. Make wine into water. Because water is better for survival. And that's the only thing that Mana needs, survival. Give him 3 bottles of your most expensive wine, and boom! They're now bottles of water. Delicious. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Congrats to Gumiho for winning the series. And we'll be back with more games in the future. Bye-bye.